To sign up for the Pirouette course, Pirouettes with Amelia. We've already had a lot of people sign up. If you signed up for the course, I am doing an orientation call today at 12 noon Pacific time. Don't worry, it will be recorded. We have been talking a lot about pirouettes this week since our pirouette webinar last Sunday. And so I wanted to come on here to tell a little story about my horse Kensington and working on the pirouettes. And also really to inspire you, if you feel like you're not ready to start working on the pirouettes, you're probably closer than you think. So basically, if you can walk, trot, canter, if your horse goes forward, it's time to start working on turn on the haunches. Turn on the haunches are the prerequisite to walk pirouettes. Walk pirouettes are the prerequisite to canter pirouettes. And the thing about riding and about dressage is that it's all about the basics. And so the better your basics, and when you start working towards a complicated movement like the pirouettes, you will be amazed at what you can achieve. So back to Kensington. Kensington is the chestnut horse that you see a lot in some of my videos. He's really very pretty horse. But anyways, when I got Kensington as a 5-year-old, he had this giant canter. It was like really strung out. It was really out of balance. I remember when I would try to like go through a corner or even just making a 20-meter circle, it was really hard for him because his canter stride was so big and so powerful. I would not even ride him in the dressage court. I would always take him down into our big jumping arena at the barn so that I had more space and I didn't have to turn him so much. So when I first took Kensington to train with Yohanneman, the first thing he had me do is our walk pirouettes. And he had me just practice the walk pirouettes over and over and over again to help me get more control of the hind leg. So to help get the hind leg a little more under, more active, more engaged. And it's a small detail, but it's so amazing how when you get your horse positioned correctly at the walk and you're able to get the hind legs under, it improves your horse's balance. It gets them more off the forehand. And then after doing the walk pirouettes, when I went back to canter, it was really amazing because Kensington felt more organized in his body. His forehand was more up. His strides were shorter and more engaged. And I think a lot of people avoid working on the pirouettes, especially the walk pirouettes or the turn on the haunches. Let me know if you avoid them because they're a tricky movement, right? They're hard to ride well. They're hard to feel. A lot happens, like your horse might get stuck or they step out or you can't get the bend or any of those things. And so it's something that we don't want to practice, but something that we really, really should practice because when you're able to control your horse's body parts, like the hind end, the front end, the shoulders, the bend, the lateral suppleness left and right, if you can get that at the walk, then you have a lot better chance of getting it at the trot and at the canter. So that's a great tip is if you're having trouble with something with your horse, slow it down to the walk, work on it at the walk, explain it at the walk. It gives you a little more time to figure out your correct aids. It gives your horse a little more time to figure out what to do with their body and then go back to the trot or to the canter. And that's a big reason too to perfect your walk pirouettes is because if you can do your walk pirouettes, then you can do your canter pirouettes. So with Kensington, the walk pirouettes are something that I work on like almost every single day. They're also a great movement to practice because there's not a lot of wear and tear on your horse's joints or their body. So for example, an extended trot, you can't practice that every day. You're going to have lameness issues, but a walk pirouette, absolutely, you can practice that every single day. And another thing, so I asked in the chat during the webinar, like which of the prerequisites people were still struggling with for their canter pirouettes. And many people said canter quality. So if you're struggling with your canter quality, if your horse is rushing on the forehand, if your canter transition is kind of a mess, again, walk pirouettes will fix that. And I know that you might not believe that. You're like, how is a walk pirouette going to fix my canter or fix my canter transition? It's all about getting control of the hind end and getting the hind end more under. And when you have that, then it's so much easier when you go up to the trot and when you go up into the canter. So as you can tell, I'm passionate about training. I love training and developing the horses. And I think it's always important to set goals. You know, if your goal is to do second level or if your goal is to ride the FEI, let me know in the chat, what is your goal with your horse? Set a big goal and then start breaking it down and working towards it little by little, piece by piece. And you will be amazed at what you can accomplish with your horse. So I'm going to show you quickly inside of the Pirouette course. Once again, today is the last day, and I hope I can screen share here. Okay. So here we go. Here is a look inside of the course, and there's a bunch of exercises. So there's over 60 exercises in here. And we start with what is a pirouette. So really going into the definition and the theory behind pirouettes. We go into prerequisites for the walk pirouette. So even if you're not ready to start with pirouettes, here we go, is all the steps that you need to get your horse ready for turn on the haunches. And again, when you go through this course step by step, by the end of it, you will be able to do a canter pirouette. And then there's different exercises to introduce the walk pirouettes. One thing that's super important about when you are teaching the pirouettes is that you really need to know different patterns and different exercises to help your horse figure out what to do with their body. So here's a bunch of the prerequisites for canter pirouettes. Again, so even if you're not ready, if you're like, but Amelia, I'm not ready to start doing my canter pirouettes or to start doing pirouettes, I go through all the foundational exercises that you need to get you ready. So if your dream is like, one day I want to do a canter pirouette, then this is the course for you. So then I have a bunch of different exercises to introduce the canter pirouettes, pirouette lesson. So this is where I'm actually teaching students and helping them work on their canter pirouettes. And then finally, canter pirouettes in a test. And inside each of these exercise videos, there will be a little description. And then there's also a couple of videos for you to watch. There's a worksheet. So pretty much everything that you need is inside of the Pirouette course. And yeah, today's the last day. So if you're interested, please sign up. If you have questions, email us, support@amelianewcombdressage.com. I'm doing an orientation call at noon today for those of you who have signed up, and we would love to have you. I'm eager to help you with your horse and help you reach your goals and reach your dreams. So I'm going to head to the barn, and then I'll be back at noon for the orientation call. And I hope you all have a wonderful morning. Bye.